Hello everybody, it is I, your favorite VTuber Android Arrowhead, and this is more Ace Attorney 3! We are only 3 deep into a 10-game series. But I do hope to do them all someday. Anyway, okay. Remember from last time, we found a computer corporation called Blue Corp. The guy was gambling, the victim I mean, and then I spent like 30 minutes not clicking the right dialogue option, and then I did, and then I got it. Objection! And that's about it, yeah, anyway. Alright. January 8th, 9:46 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. Well, that's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that. The little flash of doubt in your eyes. Maya, why did you ask me that question? What was the point of that? Oh, I think the audio's fine. That was determination. Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger. Then let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Hey, pal. Hey, pal! Hey, Detective Gumshoe. What's stressing Maggie out? She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I could smell it in the blood. I could smell it in the air. Edgeworth crossed me with a bloodhound for an experiment. Weird because he's not a scientist and this joke doesn't make any sense, but okay. I was watching through the doorway. Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help. Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is the small bottle that turned up in Trabian's kitchen a couple of days ago. Wow, look at all these little bottles. Oh yeah, the aromatherapy oils. Wait, this one looks weird. And this is the evidence, isn't it? This is gonna win me the case, isn't it? We finally got the analysis results back from the lab. So? What was it? What is it? Is it the poison? I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication. Medication? Oh, that's the eardrops, probably. Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean... Yeah, it's a medication that Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? To get to the other side? Anyway. Yeah, small bottle, victim's ear medicine. That's gonna be the key to the case, I can already feel it now. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... It's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? Gotcha. I'll use a legal condom. Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. His name isn't Phoenix Wright, that's for sure. Alright. January 8th, 10 o'clock a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird again. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet, the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Oh boy. Go on, drink your coffee. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. It's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? Do you know the answers to these riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. That was what I was doing. I'll be fine for that later. He was throwing us off the scent. And today I'll prove it. Very well, let the first witness take the stand. I like to imagine that the judge at this point is just so done with everything, because he's like, oh my fucking god. Now I'm curious to know what cases that don't involve Phoenix are like. Because when you think about it, insanity just seems to follow him wherever he goes. I can only imagine the nonsense that everyone else gets up to, or, even weirder than that, the idea that everyone is normal except for cases that involve Nick. Oh, yeah. And you are? Oh, bonjour everyone! I am John Armstrong, the owner and head chef of the Tribulations restaurant, Enchanté! Welcome to Sexual Conquest. As previously discussed, you've pressed the button on the alarm clock signifying your permission to start the game. Additional copies of your thumbprint have been sent as your e-signature, confirming your full consent for whatever may happen to you. I went off this wild ride, Firewall. Welcome to the stream, Firewall. How you doing? I'm French for some reason. God damn, this guy is a massive ass. Anyway, forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? Judge, it's 2024. You can't. I guess it's like 2006. Yeah, you know, you could pass with that in 2006. That was fine. It's gonna come down on hell on him later, though. Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am Lappert and perky gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, you were in Trabian's kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, monsieur? Huh? Everything feels right. Wow, he's totally unfazed. Does anything intimidate this guy? We've also discussed the safe word. Feel free to use it at any time, but judging from your YouTube stream, we both know you'll probably not. It's chrysanthemum. Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations. If you're having too much fun, it ruins it for me. Ruining stuff for you is my kink. How have you been here? I'm doing just fine, Farrell. How you been doing? Oui, volunteers. I don't think that's how you spell volunteers. At Tribulations. His restaurant is more like Très Merde, which I've been told is French for shit. Where's the button I have for this? I need to start using my soundboard more. I'm gonna work on that. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day. Imagine reading all of this without knowing what Always Sunny is. Oh, right! Yeah. Yeah, honestly, that's something that, like, I feel like you could just show that in, like, a compilation of out-of-context Sunny clips, and no matter what they think about the show, they would laugh. That was one of the funnier scenes, I thought. Kind of forgot that it was from Always Sunny for a sec, but now that I'm... Okay, yeah, now I'm on it. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. What? Hold on. He was looking at the mirror. But then wouldn't he have seen her face? The waitress? Whatever, anyway. Oui, perhaps that is what Loud Man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, non? Wait, would it really be la cup and la glasses if neither one of those ends with a vowel? Because wouldn't it be like le cup and le gla... Whatever, I'm not French, alright. And for that matter, honestly, I'm almost positive he isn't either. But anyway, mirror? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. And suddenly the mystery disappears. Like smoke and mirrors. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear to back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, let's get this little guy out of the way. There's 2 customers in the restaurant. I don't think I have anything to prove against that, so... Sure, let's press this. You were experimenting with art deco? How come I never heard about that before today? You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Armstrong is a character that has been under a fair enough of scrutiny lately. Really? Huh. Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before? But I did, just a few moments ago. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong? This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoction? Decock ball torture? Of which I am a fan? No, art deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. You know, walls, ceilings, carpets, that sort of thing. I don't think he's offensive towards trans people, but like, he's not trans, he just acts like a woman. Exactly, right? He even said he was a guy just now. It's like, oh, he's offensive because he offends trans people. Objection, he never claimed to be a woman. He just acts effeminate, which if anything, goes against stereotypes. Actually, he's French, so maybe that supports, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, he's not offensive to trans people, he's offensive to French people. As are most things, I've been told. But, yeah, anyway. Deco. Ah, yes, of course, that deco. I was trying to achieve a more effeminate look for my restaurant. See? Look at that! Effeminate. I was planning the most bold remodeling of la decor. Yeah, having a mirror between tables, that's not really that bold. Honestly, you know what would have been bold? Barbed wire. He's a femboy at most. Femboy at most, exactly. On the scale of like, between being, I guess, cis and then transsexual, he's like right on like a solid 3. He's a femboy. Look at those muscles. Anyway, before this gets any stranger, I gotta be honest, when I do these little rants, I don't plan anything. I start talking, like, let me paint a picture for you, right? When I start doing this, I'm basically sitting at like a news anchor desk. I am chained to that desk, and behind the camera is my brain with a gun and a bunch of cue cards. And what I have to do is read the cue cards, hoping that my brain doesn't shoot me. And I don't know what's going to be on the next cue card before I finish the current one, which is also why I sound confused sometimes when I stop talking. But anyway, we're going to move on to having a large mirror. Oui, monsieur, oui, monsieur Judge, I love that cock and ball torture thing you Americans keep talking about. Oh, God. That will be written on my epitaph. When I die, that will be written on my gravestone. How big of a mirror are we talking about here? Buff. Is buff French? Buff. Something about 4 meters wide and, oui, about 2 meters high. Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard... Holy glass in a frame, that's huge! Is that a phrase? Glass in a frame? I mean, I've heard of throwing that ass in a circle, but, like, I don't know what that means either. I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. None. But I decided not to go through with it in the end. What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? It's always to press harder, whether or not he would enjoy that. If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies. But... was that the first time he objected? I don't remember hearing that before. Your gravestone would be huge for the amount of stuff they would have to engrave in it. Yeah, but it'd be really funny. They just walk up being like, whoa, is this like a Civil War monument? Boff does mean men in French. Okay, so that's actually a thing. Yeah. Just imagine they walk up to my gravestone like it's like one of those like World War II monuments where it's got like all the names on it. They're like, oh wow, was there a battle here or something? Then they get closer to it and it says, in like chiseled in stone, oui, Monsieur Judge, I love that cock and ball torture thing you Americans keep talking about. Or something along those lines. I imagine it would be the biggest attraction at the cemetery. It'd be very funny. Granted, I would not be there to see it, and I'd probably be the only one who finds it funny, but I would find it funny. You didn't ask, Trite. You have only yourself to blame for such... You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? A mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident. Really? As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. It looked like the monolith from A Space Odyssey. Yeah, just kind of like floating off the ground or something like... And then a bunch of like... What was the thing in that movie where like a bunch of gorillas started gathering around it and then it started like... and then they started like banging on it? Or was that cavemen? I don't remember. It has been years and years since I've seen that movie. I need to watch that again at some point. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant the day of the crime. Huh. You want to doubt someone, try to look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in the mirror. Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Trite. Even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it is impossible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Trite? Not the hair! I do not have a top-knot! Mr. Kudo is correct. Technically, her hair is a top-knot. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Bien, logica's one of the day. Now he's Italian for some reason, but... Alright. Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse.
Oui. Hey, Nick. We should take a second think about what old CD said in his testimony.
How did he phrase it again? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand.
If he saw everything as he described it reflected in the mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh?
And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess, or does it? So let's see, his left ear was the one with the, Ayo! Kinda hard to believe everything is the fault of the mirror, but... Did it just find all the contradictions? The earpiece and the glasses, but... Unfortunately, that was over his left eye, which means he would have seen it on the right. There we are. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? Same size as specs. Yeah, I just read this. Yep. So, to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side.
Exactamente. You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it's not so hard, no?
Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Because the H stands for Hidari, which is left in Japanese. Wait, no, that was on the right side. Holy shit, Phoenix is right. Order! Order! Mr. Right is correct. Couldn't say Mr. Right is right. Alright. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. How bitter. Right, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? Bitter? I barely know her. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm well acquainted with the bitter mistress that is coffee. If I can't have that thick black stuff in my mouth, I don't know what I would do. Anyway, that's gonna get taken out of context. You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume? The I broke the vase. Sorry, apology. I mean Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elk? His dopey fucking ears. Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elk's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear. Well tried. That's the worst, but best impression of Kudo ever.
Wow, I really thought he was old CD for a minute there. Kudo is good.
More like Goodo, am I right? Enough! I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash.
What? A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real? So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong.
Very poor choice of words.
Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. Unlike Mr. Elg, who was one ear.
Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant.
The mirror.
Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably? I'm guessing the objection for that is like, no, I'm standing. La mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim, so there's no way to confirm that there was another guy there based on his testimony. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After that terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
I find this hard to believe, for multiple reasons, mainly being that we know he's wrong, but... Was the mirror going in the middle of the restaurant? It was minding its own fucking business, which you apparently aren't. No, but I gotta be honest, I have no idea what the thought process there is. That seems like a terrible idea. Oh boy, but from the table next to the victim, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. Yeah, but not the other guy at... Oh boy.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this.
What? Don't worry about it. I confuse men all the time. We can keep up except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that?
Well, yes, of course.
Uh-huh. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. Yeah, alright, alright. I think I know where this is. The middle of the restaurant. Broke the vase at his seat. So here's my question. How is he so sure that there was only two if he could... Between him and, like, the victim. How is he so sure about that? Kudo, I mean. How is he sure about that if he couldn't even see if there was another guy? Let's see. So, run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct?
Oui.
We? Really? No, this is a you problem. Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Look who's talking, Trite. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. Namely, justice. But, this is my seat in the courtroom. Fabien's charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. But he could see... Whatever. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trite.
I tell you, monsieur, la mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant.
And where would that be?
Ooh la la! Look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. How old is he again? 39! Wow, actually he is a fair bit older than Nick. Huh.
Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once.
I attract the older ones too. You know, handsome. Shall I tease you too?
I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time.
I bet she has mocha cream skin. I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Is Maya racist against people with brown skin? Objection, Your Honor. I'm not in the CBT.
Oh boy. You're lost, Mr. Wright. Yeah, Trite. Don't you just want to get your balls stepped on? Alright, I'm done with this joke. Alright.
Bien, I will tell you. There was only one seat from which you could have seen.
I'm aware.
So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? Phoenix, do you know how mirrors work? My monsieur, it is obvious, no? If you look at La plans, you will understand.
Maya just likes brown coffee, that's it.
I think Maya just wants a pile of sugar that's roughly turned into a liquid. Actually, no, she would probably prefer a burger, if memory serves. So maybe she wants, like, savory coffee? Which I guess is a thing, probably. Whatever. La victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. If you were sitting at la table next to him, you would see everything, no? So that's the seat old CD was sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened.
The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim?
Why does that seem kinda odd? Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police? Oui, exactement. I carried it out of la restaurant then. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself. I don't know, Phoenix, this guy's pretty jacked, I believe it.
His name is Armstrong.
What can I say? I know how to pick things up, handsome. Godot actually laughed at something.
Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it's possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
I look like the obliging type, no? But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
I'm almost positive this is bullshit, but let's see.
Are you sure about that? I touched nothing except la mirror.
Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene?
Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. I can! Ointment.
Suffering from a case of heartburn, Trite?
Oh, I have just the thing for that. An oil that's good. Oh my god, shut up.
Add a few drops to your coffee and voila. Enjoy. Focus, Phoenix, breathe. I need to ignore those two and just find some evidence.
It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, and neither did old Seedy.
And the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day. Now I just gotta prove it somehow. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Wait. No. Fuck. Okay, then it's the lottery ticket that he tried to steal.
No, wait, that was... Oh.
Hmm. Well, shit. Wait, no, he would have moved the magazine, right? The magazine with the sports thing? Mm-hmm. Seen from near the kitchen. I guess this wouldn't disprove the mirror. Out of body search of Maggie. Didn't we already establish that he took something? I could have sworn. But it wasn't this, and therefore... Fuck! Huh. Okay, didn't touch anything else, but... I feel like he did. Hmm. It needs to be enough to show that he's lying. Covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen. I still think it's this, personally. Didn't take anything else from the crime scene. You know, it occurs to me that I should probably save before I, go any further with this, for various reasons. First and foremost, so that I don't have to do all the rest of this again. Okay, what would it be? I feel like this is the right answer. Hold on, let's move the mirror so it wasn't in the way. That was the seat at the table next to the victim. That was where the old man was sitting. There's only one seat where you could have seen an image of the victim, but I feel like that's wrong. I feel like you could have seen it from like the seat to his right, to his left. If the mirror was where he said it was. But I also don't feel like that's what they want me to call him on. Because if that was true, then I would have gotten the updated picture, so... Oh... Shit... Perhaps? Fuck! Okay. I do agree that this statement feels like it's actually wrong. I just don't remember, like, what would be it if not the stuff we already talked about. What would be moved? Okay, well, let's focus on other stuff. Move the mirror so it wasn't in the way. I have nothing that disproves that. I was where the old man was sitting. I feel like this is wrong, but... Well, nothing else has worked, so,
I am about to die. I'm about to die in real life. That was la seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. Broke the vase at his table. I don't recall seeing that vase, but well, then again, I was also there like months after it happened. So, huh. Actually, this might be it. Oh, thank fuck. Okay. 'Cause there's a fucking vase in it, and I didn't see that, and I'm dumb and unobservant. But I got him! This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. A crime photo? Yes. This photo clearly shows something that... I'm winning now! I am winning now! Thank you for asking, Firewall. I am winning, son. Yes. This photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. That theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? I mean tea. I don't like tea, Your Honor. Okay, anyway. Could not exist? Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite. You should Imagine Godot just goes all low-tier god on Phoenix. You're stupid, Trite. Your life has no purpose. You should Alright. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is the something that should not exist in this photo? Well, for starters, his shoes are mismatched. I think. Because look, he's got like... There's a strap on that one, but there's not a strap on that one. So his fashion is terrible, I want to say, but it's the vase. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. I'm gonna ace the rest of the trial now, aren't I? There was one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. Your life is everything. You serve all purpose, and you should treat yourself now, kings. Low-tier god's evil twin. High-tier devil. Ah, yes, the positive affirmation devil. The strongest one in the Chainsaw Man universe, because everyone's afraid of actually being nice to themselves. Anyway, for jokes, on to jokes that are actually funny, yours was great, mine was not. Anyway, Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there was an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Trite, that's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly. So you agree, then? There was only one conclusion that we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. And not even that elaborate for the most part. Mon Dieu!
Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary. In his own words, I did not touch anything else except the mirror, but in a French accent.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
Sniffle. Sniffle. I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. I was just talking out of my ass.
In light of this revelation, we turn back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear which he couldn't hear? You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? I'm gonna save, because I am one wrong guess away from death, and I don't need that on myself right now. Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up.
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. That would be a bold guess, that the victim was fake. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet, there is one very simple answer that clears them all up.
And what is that?
The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events.
What?
Yes. Yes. The victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glen Elg at all. It was an imposter. Shut up, guys. It was an imposter. A phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. I love the dramatic build-up to him drinking coffee only to spit it out.
Order! Order in the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom. Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
Phoenix bullshits and the universe makes it happen. Yeah, Phoenix doesn't use the power of logic like Edgeworth does, which, by the way, did you see that trailer for the Ace Attorney Investigations game where Edgeworth talks about how he uses logic? And it's just like, Phoenix uses, like, anti-logic. He just says nonsense and it eventually works.
What did you say? Trite, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup?
Yes. Someone pretended to be Glen Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo.
Get real, Trite! Why would anyone want to do that?
Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was...
The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but...
That isn't the only thing that's hard, Your Honor. You see, There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the witness in the... Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. Who would have noticed what was happening? That's right! Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la, this is the most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You're under oath, after all. And that's never stopped anybody. That stops everybody. Whatever. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened, and nothing but the truth as well. Your Honor, swear him in on a pack of Pokemon cards. And don't let him open them either. It's for my gotcha stream later. The defendant's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain, in detail, the events in the restaurant that day. Oui. In the restaurant. La victime, Monsieur Elk, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won la lottery, Mon Elk became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning occurred. None, there was no time for the phony to do la acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all? Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I did lie under oath, which is a huge penalty under the law. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. That's a crime. That is an actual crime. What is this kangaroo court? I still have that video of that one lawyer. I think it was Legal Eagle or something like that. But they were playing Ace Attorney, and they got to the updated autopsy report part where he's just like, "You can't update an autopsy report. You can't do that. What kind of kangaroo court is this?" What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. Okay, so yeah, they do recognize that it's a crime. I will decide how to punish you later. For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. In the restaurant. You're in the restaurant alone. It is a French court now. Yeah, let's behead him! With a guillotine. By the way, do you guys pronounce guillotine or guillotine? Because I've heard it, like, done both ways, and I feel like guillotine is correct, but, like, I've heard it enough the other way to the point where it's also... Maybe I'm just really wrong about that? I don't know. Was he alone at this table as well? Judge, I will decide how to punish you later. Sexually. And note, I'm very old, so it will get weird. My, oui, I saw him from la kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Unfortunately for you, Trite. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? Rattlesnake venom. It's not coffee, it's love! It's love that's bittersweet. Guillotine is how I always hear it. You know, I realize the stupidity of asking that question to a chat that can only type it out. That's on me. I remember the old man arrived not long after him.
By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui, he comes often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
What was the charge? Drinking coffee? Succulent French coffee?
By the way, the succulent Chinese meal guy died. I found that out the other day, but he died of some kind of cancer. If you don't know who the succulent Chinese meal guy is, look him up. He deserves to be remembered.
What was the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. So you're saying that not much time elapsed between when the victim and Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oui, that is correct.
It still leaves the possibility that something happened in that gap of time. This is Democracy Manifest. Yeah, there it is. Don't touch my penis. Your judo is impeccable, sir. How about you, good sir? Would you like to receive my limp penis? Oh boy. That still leaves the possibility something happened in the gap of time. And by your recollection, how much time would you say elapsed?
Let me see. Approximately 2 minutes, I would say.
It's 2 minutes? That's all? It seems unlikely that anything untoward could have happened in such a short time. Oh, rats! I knew I shouldn't have pursued this line of questioning. Hold on. What if we get it right this time? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10 p.m., no?
Just after 2, huh?
Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? You kinda can, that's partially your job. Time of day will be added to the witness's testimony, and we got him, boys! I already know what I'm gonna do with this.
Oui, monsieur Judge, everything I do it for you. I give my life, not for honor, but for you.
Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself. Je te prie, ma la tête, je te prie, ma la tête.
Just after 2 p.m. Well, Buzzitch, please. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong.
Quoi? What do you mean?
At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket.
Oui, that must be la show mon elle was listening to.
I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright.
I wonder.
You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct?
Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I just finished serving the lunch menu.
Get to the point, Wright, if you have one.
That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life.
It's on the air at 1:30.
Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished for more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time.
No.
This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. He is the radio version of a DVR. This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glenelgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glenelg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glenelg, acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Quite a performance, Stride. You were almost on a roll.
But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song.
I'm always rock-hard, Godot. What is this? Music Theory 101?
Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glenelg is?
I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glenelg was already dead.
That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. Ah, boy. I happen to have Glenelg on the stand right here. And it just shows like a rotting corpse on the stand. There's like flies buzzing around it.
What?
Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours? Can you explain where the missing corpse went to?
The missing corpse?
According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glenelg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? No! The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright.
Was the Chinese meal guy acting for that video, or was it for real? That's the thing. I keep finding conflicting, like, takes on whether or not it was real or staged, or if he was actually getting arrested, or, like, for what reason. Some people think he was, like, arrested on false charges for, like, an art fraud thing. Other people think it was, like, he's an actor. Other people think, I don't know. I looked for a while, and I couldn't find the real story behind it, so, like, he was just a legend. He was just having a succulent Chinese meal. I think that's just the end of it right there. If there's nothing else we know that that restaurant is fucking awesome and we should all go there at some point. Honestly, I joke, I actually kind of do want to try it if it was, you know, if the guy is getting arrested and being like, if there's one thing you must know, it was that it was amazing. I kind of want to try it, you know? Like it seems pretty good.
If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Who was in Paris? Where did the killer hide the body?
Yes, Your Honor.
No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden.
Evidence? I have but one life to live, and I will only give it for this one stupid argument. I thought I had him with that contradiction.
He's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Glenelg concealed? Inside Tribulations? It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans? Your Honor, I can't answer that question. You see, we're live on YouTube right now. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you signed a contract. Where would a body be hidden inside of a restaurant? I would guess... kitchen... The body was hidden here. I see. Nope, I got it wrong. Let's try outside? Clearly, there's no place to hide a body inside Tribulations. Therefore, the killer must have hauled the body outside. I see. I got it wrong again. Okay, so it was inside. Inside. It would have been 2 days to take the body outside. I'm a scat man. All right, and we're going with under the table is where the body is. Yep. Body was hidden here. I see. Ah, fuck. Oh, can I back it up? No, wait. I got it this time. 5th time's the charm, guys. Dead to rights, I got him. Dead to rights. Inside. Kitchen. I see. Nice supposition. The real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? There it is! Do you have a source to back it up, Trite? Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No, I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality ones, only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Eh? Quoi? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elg visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results right here. The contents of the bottle that match the prescription that was given to Mr. Elg. War! Glen Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No. Order! Order! This is extraordinary development. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg?
Never! I could not do such an horrible thing.
Is he farting? Oh. Mr. Godot? The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. It's one of my rules.
Oh my god, I'm just imagining him, like, talking to a girl, and he's like,
Hey baby, do you love me?
she's like, yeah, of course. And suddenly just a coffee, like, mug appears in frame, and he's like,
why? It's one of my rules.
do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now?
Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me.
Have a cup of coffee? Lie to them? What? How much coffee's in that cup? Good question. It's gotta be like a quart, 2 pints, a gallon even maybe? Whatever system of measurement for liquids we use. Yeah. A liter, more like a liter.
I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? My H-deficient friend.
H? Oh, I guess like, oh, because France doesn't have like H sounds kinda like hors d'oeuvre and stuff. Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me, por favor.
Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. I'm only gonna ask you once. Did you do it?
No, no, no. Absolutely none. I
Let's hear it. You've got one shot. Right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. We are going to fuck you up.
Oui, it is clear. What do they always say in movies? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
The confession. It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him in the baptism because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. I don't believe you. Believe it too.
You were forced? By who?
A Jedi. I cannot say, or I will be erased.
We're gonna fuck you up, and not in the sexual way for once.
Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elg died, was he really the only person at that table? There was... I fucking knew it. Mainly because we already seen this picture, but yeah. There was another man. I knew it. Mackie was telling us the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
It's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. Okay, yeah. There was a reason why I could not refuse, which is, as I recall, Yep. And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong? You know, monsieur. Yes. Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment. Didn't you just say you were a dude, though? A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. I'll just have to prove it with evidence. I didn't even need to save. I knew that already. You have $500,000 debt, don't you?
$500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong?
Oui, just oui, that's all. I was weak and I borrowed la money. This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked out of you by this man. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. Rather, a tiger shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong. La Tigre. He told me it was going to be use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting la victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. Hey, that rhymes. He's a poet and didn't even mean to rhyme those words.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket, was that your doing as well?
No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like there was a Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable.
Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. "30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Trite. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. You will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
I could stop here. I don't really know how much is left in this arc, at least. I'm sure we have at least half a trial left. You know what? I'll call it here for now. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Arrowhead, your favorite VTuber Android. My next stream is going to be at some point obviously I'm going to have another stream this week. Either way, you'll find out from my schedule releasing tomorrow. Have a lovely morning, day, or evening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And goodbye for now.